Hello everyone, my name is Insomniac and welcome to Late Night Updates with an Insomniac, the late night news show for all gaming insomniacs. Oh boy, that's a mouthful. Anyway, in this video I wanted to start off a new series of videos which focus on game news, updates, reviews, and analyses. I sort of do this already in some gameplay videos, but I wanted to separate the two to provide a more diverse selection of content for the channel and also to better focus on each type of content. So if you happen to like this video and the content to come, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, and maybe even subscribe for more. And of course, thanks for watching. Now let's get into the tea. So if you haven't been living under a rock, you'd probably know that E3 2019 was on last week, and Lorne Lanning, co-founder of Oddworld Inhabitants, was there showing off the new game Soulstorm. He had a few interviews talking about the new game and a lot about the journey getting to where the company is now. Lanning sat down with Jeff Keighley at E3 Live, and he also did an interview with Victor Lucas over on Electric Playground Network, and he also sat down with Brian Crescent from Variety. So this has all been happening within the last couple of days. Now I thought I'd start off with the interview with Variety. Basically they went over a few things and they discussed a little bit about the game. But the main thing that I want to point out from this interview is that Oddworld is planning on releasing the games to Switch. Lanning said, "One thing I can say right now, I believe Oddworld fans who own Switch will find 2019 to be a very Oddworld year." So that's very exciting. We're definitely going to be getting new and tasty, most likely. Maybe Odyssey and Exodus, possibly even Stranger's Wrath. That could be cool. And even Soulstorm later on next year, perhaps. Also, within this interview, Lanning said that he wants Ape on the big screen. Now, this is something that he's talked about before, and that's kind of been up in the air a couple times, which is super exciting. Like, he's definitely looking forward to pushing that quite a bit. Hopefully the combination of tricks in Soulstorm and the quality of its delivery proves compelling enough that we'll finally see Abe make his way to the larger screens of Hollywood. So, sounds like they're wanting to do this very soon. Now, I'd be pretty keen to see a Oddworld movie, but I'm pretty sure also Lanning said that he'd prefer it to be more of a series, because with series you can do more with them and you have a lot more time up your sleeve, so you can really expand the universe of that particular franchise. Which I'd prefer a series over a movie, but a movie does sound pretty cool too. Now moving on to the interview with Electric Playground Network, Lanning basically just goes over the history of the company and the games and the franchise and all the motivation they've had and all the influence that they've had on the people who play the games and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool interview. You should definitely go check it out. It's about 20 minutes long. I think it's like 19.5 minutes to be exact, but it's a great interview. Definitely go check that out for yourself. I'll leave links in the description, by the way. But one thing that he does say in the interview is that the Mudokons in the original games were beasts of burdens, and that they've given Abe some specific move sets that set him apart so he doesn't blend in with the rest of the Mudokons, which is very good. And that also kind of feeds into the new gameplay style and all the different things that you can do with the Mudokons in Soulstorm. Basically, there's quite a very vast crafting system, which you get to see from the E3 interview that I will go over in a second. But with the Mudokons themselves, you're able to control how they respond to different situations. Now you can decide whether or not they'll be passive or whether or not they'll be aggressive, like shoot to kill kind of thing, which is really cool. They can also help you add to your chance, so you become more powerful with the Mudokons, and they also climb around and can do parkour a little bit as well, which I've mentioned in a previous episode. And then going to the E3 interview finally, and they actually revealed some new gameplay footage which shows off the crafting system, which I'm super excited for. It looks really cool. I think a lot of these items are just placeholders for now. The most interesting items that we see is the jawbreakers. You also get wire, nails and screws, rags, tape, empty bottles, bottles of brew, and this other drink called Pop. You've got gum, lighter fluid, batteries, and blast toast mints. So you've also got a little crafting table over there on the side, which you can basically mix and match all the different ingredients as well and come up with new items, which is very cool. So obviously you can craft a whole variety of different things, and that will also determine the outcome of the level and the path you go down for that particular stage. And also the Mudokons themselves will also be able to use them, all these ingredients, or the items that you make from these ingredients rather. And another little thing that I noticed, and you can't really see it, but if you zoom in on it, that little packet says Boneworks. I thought it was cocaine at first, but I'm pretty sure that's bone meal. or something of the sort. So I think maybe you'll be able to get your hands on some Madokan bones, which is super messed up, and I'm keen to know what you can make out of that, because yeesh. Now, another thing that you see in the new footage is it's kind of the same footage as before, but now they've introduced the karmic system overlay, and this gives me serious Fable vibes with the little karma numbers depleting, because in this little short, Abe has set all his Madokans to shoot to kill, so he's getting negative karma from that. And I was actually on the official Oddworld server talking to a couple people and someone who works for Oddworld, I believe, and we were all asking a whole bunch of different questions, but one of the questions that we asked that I'm quite interested to find out the answer to is, because he didn't say much, because he can't give too much away, is whether or not certain actions will provide more karma. So if you shoot someone who's tied up, like a slig who's tied up, you will get more bad karma than shooting a slig who shot you first. Like, it's self-defense, so it's not purely evil, whereas it's slightly evil. Like, you murdered someone, yeah, but it's better than tying them up and then killing them. That kind of deal. Like, will there be karma that is equal to the action you've performed? Like, obviously the worse it is, the more bad karma, and the better your choices, the more good karma. So that was something that I'm curious about. There's a whole lot, really, that we can pick apart here. Also, another thing was one of the opening scenes from when Abe jumps off the train and lands at Comet Depot. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a transition scene for most of them, but we also get to see one of the Vikers from Viker's Lab. So I'm pretty sure that pretty much confirms that Viker's Lab will be in Soulstorm, and we kind of already know it's going to be a thing, but that's just like an additional extra little hint. Alright, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to more in the future. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Message brought to you by Soulstorm Brew. Our spew is your brew.